Hi guys, welcome to Lunatic Astrology. I'm your astrologer, Lori Lothian, and today we're going to talk about Mercury going into direct motion on February 3rd or 4th, depending on where you live, how this will inform the end of the pandemic when, by the time he crosses over Pluto for a third time on February 11th, count this date, February 11th or 12th, listen to your news cycle. Major announcements are going to be breaking about how Omicron is endemic, or passports are being fallen away, or the pandemic is over, etc. I also want you to know that this is your story too, and that Mercury doing his third pass over Pluto, there was December 30th, retrograding January 28th, and direct on February 11th, tells a story in your sky based on your sun sign, moon sign, but most importantly, your rising sign. Pay attention to that in this narrative ahead. I'm going to go into great detail for each sign, well, at least 4 or 5 minutes for each of you. Now, I also want to say this sky story is really interesting because there is the involvement of the asteroid series in the onset of our knowledge of the pandemic, which around January 2020 was made public, especially around the date I'm about to show you in the sky, and how it's going to be the same asteroid series breaking free of a Kalasarpa Yoga conjunct the god of plagues, Apollo, that's going to, I believe, cause a definitive pandemic end point. Now, let me be clear. I don't mean that there's no more Omicron. I mean that we're no longer having the serious pandemic style restrictions that we've been under. And there's going to be more declarations now that this is over. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. All right, so here's the sky back 2 years ago when the pandemic started. Please tell me the sky is showing, because I don't see it on my chart. Yes, there it is. Back then, this is January 11th. We have this stellium here of Saturn, Pluto, Ceres, and Mercury. Now, this was around the time that the WHO or the world said there's a pandemic or announced a variant of concern, and everybody started to become aware of the virus that was circulating. This is the time frame. And you'll see that Mercury was a critical player in this narrative, right? And Ceres have got us of foodborne illnesses that can often connect to such things as like wet markets, where the virus is supposed to have started, which is a food market, of course, and live animals and stuff. But of course, we know, most of us realize that that's bullshit. But anyway, just saying. And I want to talk to you now about what's happening when this Mercury here is going to do something really cool on February 11th, when he is going to break he's going to bump into Pluto, and then Ceres is going to break what's called a Kalasarpa Yoga, which is a difficult and close situation of planets, and it's going to change our trajectory around the pandemic. So I'm going to show it to you before I do all signs and show you what I'm talking about. So give me a minute while I move the chart 2 years ahead. Ready? Okay, this is a Kalasarpa Yoga, south and north node, with all the planets on this side of it. All the planets are not in this chart right now, so bear with me, but because I was simplifying it for the Mercury retrograde. But trust me, there are no significant planets on the other side of this north and south axis right now. And I want to say, I know I've got it set for January 11th, that's fine, but I want you to get the visual clarity of what I'm trying to show you. Now I'm going to move us to the days ahead. Let's go ahead to the weeks ahead. And now we're moving forward. I hope you're enjoying the moving sky. You can see Mars is now exalting in Capricorn. Yay, things like trucker convoys and stuff like that in Canada. Mercury has been retrograding, and we're going to keep watching him go as he goes back into Capricorn. And there he is hanging out with Pluto. Remember how we had that Pluto and we had that Mercury and all of that back then, as well as Venus was there, as well as, was she there? I don't know. But as well as, certainly what I'm trying to talk about is Mercury, Pluto, Saturn's not there this time, and Ceres. Now look at Ceres over here. She's breaking free out of the bounds of this Kalasarpa Yoga. But what I want to pay attention to, and she would have broken free around January the 24th or 5th. And that's a sign that the pandemic is moving away from us. And I'll show you the definitive moment on February 11th when Mercury, now going in forward motion, but still in the shadow, is retrograde until February 24th. We'll bump into Pluto for the third conjunction on the 11th. And watch the sky, guys. This is going to show you something. Then I'll do all signs. Yay. There you go. Watch. This is Mercury conjunct Pluto. All right, third pass. There was December 30th, January 28th, and February 11th. May relate to events in your own life. And there's Ceres not only breaking out of the Kalasarpa Yoga, but into a new sign at 0 degrees on that day. There's also the asteroid of pandemics, Apollo, conjunct him. And it's interesting because as well, when the day that Mercury stations to head into direct motion, which is going to be February 3rd or the 4th, depending on where you live in the world, Mars, who's sitting in Capricorn, is conjunct the asteroid Pan, which can be a moniker for pandemic. Mars is exalted in Capricorn. I think he'll try to do good things. Now, I'm going to pull away from the sky now and come back to you and tell you a couple other things about the collective, and then we'll do all signs. Here's, I'm going to sneeze. Give me a minute. Or maybe I'm not going to sneeze. I thought I was. Okay. First of all, guess what? There's a lot of censorship that's trying to clamp down on people right now. Joni Mitchell and another singer left Spotify protesting Joe Rogan's podcast on Spotify. You also had Chelsea Clinton suddenly come out and diss, I think it was just Joe Rogan. Poor Joe Rogan's under a lot of pressure right now. But the point is that Mars is exalted in Capricorn. He's sitting there with Pluto, the god of power. Venus is finally direct, but she's there. She rules, you know, entertainment industry stuff like a Joe Rogan podcast. And this kind of last gasp of what looks like wanting to censure conversation, right? This not in alignment with a particular bureaucratic Capricornian status quo narrative. And it's gotten really intense. It's like a last gasp, right? Of some kind of desire to leverage some control. And so this is going to be flying in the face, however, of what's going to look like evidence to the world that Omicron, once its wave has peaked, and it's, yes, there are higher numbers in hospitals, especially in the US because of comorbidities and unhealthy population. But there's also the fact that there's just so many numbers. Like in Canada, the Canadian government announced that we have ICU cases increasing, but that the vast majority of those cases happen to be people over the age of 80 or people over 60 or so with comorbidities. So for the average person getting Omicron, they're getting a really bad cold or a mild flu. And so as this thing wanes and the hospitals have not been overwhelmed in Canada, we do not have ICU bed shortages, but don't forget, shortages of ICU beds can be also caused by not having enough to begin with. So I don't know if you guys know this, but there was a flu season a couple of years back that they had to put hospital beds in hallways for ICU patients during a regular flu season. It's not always just about this pandemic. And I just want to say, I'm just trying to open a conversation because this is going to change. When? It's going to change on February 11th, give or take a day. Okay, when Mars hits Pluto going forward, Mercury hits Pluto going forward, at the same time, Ceres is not only breaking free of that Kalasarpa yoga, but moving into the sign of Gemini with the god of plagues, Apollo, and they're starting to tell us a new story. All right, the end of the hardship regarding the plague. If you listen back, I got a video called The Astrology of a Pandemic Ending about 2 months ago. I've got one about Omicron, comparing it to the Cazimi on November 29th of Mercury station, which was on the asteroid Panacea. I've got videos going back for like 4 or 5 months declaring that the pandemic will come to an end beginning at the end of November of 2021. And I didn't know that it would be from Omicron. I just knew that the Mars story in the sky told me why it was going to end. I got this really weird lump on my top of my head. So sorry about that. Let's go ahead and do all signs now. How is this Mercury retrograde impacting you? Don't forget to like and subscribe. Can't remember if I said that I had to start this recording over. Don't forget to hit the bell for notifications. Don't forget to comment and like and help my channel grow, and check my description box below and join my Cosmic Moonshine newsletter. Speaking of weekly astrology news every Sunday in your inbox, but you also get all kinds of contests and discounts and special things, 30% discount code for a reading with me, free gifts, and a bunch of stuff you don't get here on YouTube. Also, check out my Patreon community, about 23 of us there. It's a really lovely community. We meet real live video time one Sunday every month, and then 2 Saturdays a month. And we talk about your charts, we talk about the current sky, and we really connect with each other. It is a small community. You can join for as little as $5 a month. All the links are below. Now, I'm going to also play with these cards that I always say I'm going to play, New World Tarot. We're going to draw a card for each of the signs as we go into this idea of what does Mercury going direct in Capricorn, an earth sign in your sky, give you, especially given that as he leaves, he's finishing his dance with Pluto that he started December 30th. January 28th, and February 11th. You can connect the dots in your life. They're going to mean something to you. Trust me, you'll see what I mean once you get going. And once you start studying your sky, like what happened December 30th? What happened January 28th? What happened February 11th? Regarding Capricorn, Pluto, Mercury themes, okay? So I'm going to draw the chart up here for me, just looking at it so I can talk about it. I think I'm going to go pretty quickly here, guys. FYI, I've had a long work day and I think I need to take a snooze, take a nap or something. I was up at 6 a.m. today. That's crazy. I don't know how I got up at 6 a.m. I just woke up and I didn't go to bed until almost midnight. I was watching a dumb show, a zombie show, a Korean show called something like We're All Dead. And I mean, it's like Squid Games, you know what I mean? But I mean, it's laughable. I mean, I don't get the zombie thing. I've never been a zombie movie person. I've never gotten the whole zombie narrative. So I'm kind of watching a genre that I have no interest in, but the acting's good. I don't know how those actors do that acting on a zombie movie. I mean, how do they not laugh their heads off? All right, so number one, Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising. So here's what's happening, okay? Number one, you've got, I'm going to draw a card too. You've got Mercury going direct up in the top of your sky, up in the sky where you have your career zone. And he's been retrograding, don't forget, since February, since middle of January. No, oh my God, my brain. Yeah, like I think around January the 14th. Honestly, my brain is offline, but it's 3 weeks basically. And now he's going to go direct and he's crossing over Pluto. Don't forget, if you listened earlier, December 30th, January 28th, now February 11th, he'll cross Pluto again. But just before he gets there, he's going direct, right? On the 11th. It's not going direct on the 11th. It's going direct on the 3rd or the 4th. What does this tell you about you? Forward momentum in your career, starting to put the pieces in place for greater power and success. Mars exalted in the house of your career. You're killing it right now. But once Mercury goes direct, you're really killing it. You can write that email to the boss for a promotion. You can start selling, icicles to Eskimos or something like that. You're really going to be on your game, like so on your game with your career and your reputation. And it's a great time to advance yourself in some way, to ask for what you want. Mercury's communications, make the phone call, ask for a promotion, ask your boss for favors, or they'll just give them to you. You could get phone calls, information, news telling you these things are coming. On February the 11th, Mercury will touch down with Pluto again. Keep in mind that he's been there before. So what is he doing to finish up the story? Mercury, Pluto at the end of your Capricorn house with Mars exalted could be an amazing promotion, breakthrough, piece of information, phone call, news, reply to one of your requests that sends you jumping up and down in a woohoo mood. Yay, success, career, breakthrough. That's the gist of that. And, with Ceres breaking through that Kalasarpa yoga, as well, the first bright light of this intense Kalasarpa clenchy struggle energy that's been in the sky is still in the sky till the 3rd week of April because we're waiting for Mercury to really break it. But she's giving us a light touch. I think she ends the pandemic in essence. But I think what you're going to experience is some kind of breakthrough in the 3rd house energies, which is to do with your online world, your siblings, trips and travel. This is an area where things are freeing up and things are breaking free. I drew the 3 of Pentacles for you guys, and the 3 of Pentacles is one of those money cards, but it's money that you get through your work or through your efforts or through your, sometimes through apprenticing, something new that you're doing or something that you're learning and now you're taking it into action, but it's going to be effectively a good support structure for your finances as Mercury goes direct. Yay, Aries, us. I'm an Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. Let's keep rolling and make this a fun, short, and interesting video. Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising sign. You've got Mercury going direct on February 3rd, 4th in your 9th house of wisdom and foreign shores and foreign lands, higher education, God, and international and book publishing. Possibly some of those themes will play out as having forward momentum for you. You also have the idea here that this has happened before, that Mercury's been up here, but I want you to think about his Pluto energy, where he crossed over Pluto December 30th, January 28th, and February 11th. That's a lot of contact with Pluto, direct, retrograde, direct. So what is breaking free? Mercury's been in retrograde since the middle of January. What's breaking free here? That by February 11th, you've got Pluto power in the 9th house. Now, this definitely has foreign lands and shores all over it, but it can also connect to breakthroughs in higher education and moving forward in some powerful, potent way, leveraging that Pluto-Mercury energy. Now, Pluto-Mercury can be investigation, research and study, okay? Like, and, you know, uncovering something deep. And from the 9th house, you could be you're doing some research for a book, or you uncover something in your course of your studies and as a student that has some powerful momentum for you, Taurus. When you have the Kalasarpa yoga being liberated, all right, or opened up from the first movement of Ceres into your 2nd house, this is a good money breakthrough from a place that's feeling stagnant and has felt really crunchy for you for a lot of time, for the last few months. And now, hallelujah, you're getting a breath of clarity or fresh air as things begin to open up in this part of the sky, giving you greater financial flow and freedom with that flow. The card I'm going to draw for you is the 4 of Pentacles, another money card. How funny. Now, this is scarcity consciousness, or sometimes clinging to money, but on the other side, it's building new financial foundations as well. So I see that the Kalasarpa yoga energy. Oh, did I say Kalasarpa yoga in your money house? I take it back. Sorry. No, I did. Yeah, it was your money house. God, my brain. So it's breaking open financial scarcity to some financial stability and maybe a sense of abundance. Moving onward. Gemini, sun, moon, rising sign, you've got Mercury going direct. Don't forget, he's been retrograding since mid-February, goes direct on mid-January, goes direct on the 3rd and the 4th. Well, he's moving forward in a money house, it's inheritance, bank loans, credit card debt, tax rebates, stuff like that. This could be really good news for your finances because he's joining with Pluto. But go back to December 30th and January 28th and February 11th to come when he finally does contact Pluto. 3-part story to do with your money stuff. Now it's a spousal money, business partner money, inheritance money, bank loans, mortgages, taxes, etc. You also get the experience then of the 11th, when he does make contact with Pluto, being connected to a feeling of completion in those stories in this part of your sky. If there are secrets that you haven't heard from people hiding stuff from you, this is a big deal. December 30th and January 28th, go back and say, were there revelations or secrets coming to light? Because Mercury digs the dirt up from underneath the surface, both in the 8th house, but also in contact with Pluto. So what news or information may be coming through on February 11th that has been hidden from view that is going to be unearthed at this time? With Ceres breaking the Kalasarpa yoga in the house of your body, your identity, this is you having a personal and breakthrough regarding identity, regarding health, regarding a sense of self. The card for you today, I'm just going to get the deck and fan the deck. I'm a big deck fanner as opposed to cut and shuffle. So give me a minute. All right, hang on. Here we go. It is, the Tower. That's like a revolution. That is like Mars and Scorpio energy according to this card. Okay, so huge breaking through of some electrifying, jolting, shocking, jarring energy. Boom. But it can be very exciting because Kalasarpa yoga breakage, as Ceres gets the heck out of the bounds of the South and North Node, should feel like a bit of freedom, like from confinement, and a breakthrough, but a very exciting and maybe sudden breakthrough at that. Jupiter is in your 10th house of career, so a lot of you might have some kind of also career breakthrough that impacts your finances in a positive way. Moving on. Cancer, sun, moon, and rising sign. You guys are having this. You know what I think I need to do? I actually think I need to move my body when I do these. Maybe walk a bit. Maybe I should get put this all up higher and just stand and do these things. I think I get restless, like when I'm sitting. All right. So yeah, Cancer, sun, moon, and rising. So this is all about your significant other or your business partners, sometimes your audience and clients. This is your 7th house. And this is where Mercury has been retrograding since the middle of January and comes into direct motion February 3rd and 4th. And this is some kind of new direction here, some kind of new good breakthrough energy. Go back to December 30th, January 28th, and then of course, February 11th is coming, where Mercury will collide with Pluto. Now, this can be definitely intense, dramatic, communications with your marriage partner or your primary love partner or business partner. There's no doubt about it. It's very intense energy, but you do have Mars exalted there, holding fort, helping you win the day. All right. And Venus is there trying to soften the blow or soften the intensity of what's going on, Cancer. This can be good for also legal contracts and agreements, because this is the 7th house and that covers signing those documents. Mercury going direct says sign away. When he bumps into Pluto, though, I'm not too sure what that is. Maybe that's like the final crossing your I's and dotting your T's. You will have some support, of course, Jupiter hanging out in your 9th house of visas, court cases, and foreign shores is just loving up that part of your sky. So things should go well up there as well. Finally, you have the Kalasarpa yoga being, gate crash by Ceres in the house of 12th house, which is also a foreign lands house, right? Just as Jupiter in your 9th is a foreign lands house. So a lot of you could have dealings going on with foreign lands and foreign shores, revenue from foreign lands and foreign shores, or the 12th house where Ceres is breaking out of the Kalasarpa, your dreams at night, your self-undoing, your inner life, your addictions, and having some new freedom around those themes. Okay, the card for you, I don't think I drew one, my memory, is the Lovers. Ooh, now don't forget you've got stellium in your 7th house of committed relationship, and the South Node is transiting your house of romantic love. Very possible some of you are going to be engaging in either lovers disputes or lovers hookups and starting to connect the dots in love. This can apply as Mercury goes direct. So anytime between February, well, this is, between February the 4th and let's say to the end of February, right? He breaks free of his shadow around the 24th. That's when things can really pop. Leo, sun, moon, rising sign. So guys, you're having this energy, I'm going to stand up. You're having this energy of Mercury in your 6th house of health and work routines, where he's been doing this retrograde since mid-January and moving forward on the 3rd, 4th of February. Now, here's the thing. I think you might want to really pay attention here to the fact that Pluto's been engaging, right, with Mercury. What information, research, knowledge, or undercover discoveries are being made that can improve your health, but also your work. Now, Pluto in your 6th house with now exalted Mars and Venus. This is a lot of stuff that could be going on in your workplace, like your colleagues, your colleague space, your workspace, your office space, etc., or with your employees if you're a boss. Go back to December 30th, January 28th, and February 11th. How did Pluto meeting with Mercury, the messenger of the gods? They get along, by the way. Mercury was always allowed to wander down to the underworld anytime he wanted to take a vacay there. How are you feeling about some kind of discovery or uncovering of stuff in the house of health routines and work and office space? Okay. February 11th is the last pass of Pluto and Mercury together here in the story. Certainly this is a resource house in a work house. So this could be good work news and developments for some of you Leos coming forward. With a series breaking the Kalasarpa yoga and breaking that Kalasarpa yoga from, hang on a sec. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do something. Give me a minute. Plan B. I'm going to move you guys higher, and I hope I don't lose any kind of connection by moving you around. But with the Kalasarpa, there, that's better. I just feel like I'm needing to be higher. Does that sound like I need to get high? Coming back, guys. Okay, I've got all these old video boxes in my girlfriend's place because I'm stacking up my mic as well. Okay, I'm just standing. That's much better. Okay, hang on. Okay, just about dropped you off the nightstand. Okay, off the drafting table. Okay, so who was I talking about? Kalasarpa yoga breaking free from Ceres is happening with Apollo, the sun god, is happening up in your 11th house of good spirit. This is good for your finances. You're going to have a lovely gain financially in your career, especially with Uranus in your 10th house, promotion, a raise, extra money coming to you. But also your 11th house is kind of activating just your hopes, dreams, and wishes, a little kind of blessing there. And maybe you've been feeling you haven't been able to actualize your truest dreams, hopes, and wishes, been stuck in that Kalasarpa yoga lockdown, and now things are opening up and you're getting more freedom to nurture and nourish the abundance that can come from your career or your aspirations. And a card for you today, you Leonine folk, is the Empress. This is an abundance card. This is a Venus and Taurus energy. It does bring its own kind of flourishment, prosperity, abundance, and surplus. So I'm looking at a lot of you having work and money positivity as Mercury goes direct for Capricorn in your 6th house. So Virgo people, sun, moon, rising sign, mid-month of January, Mercury started to backpedal from Aquarius into your 5th house of fun, play, pleasure, and romance. Now, Mercury going backward in your fun, play, pleasure, and romance house might actually be a case of a regression from fun, play, joy, and pleasure, or communications coming from old lovers and boyfriends or girlfriends out of the blue, emails, phone calls, stuff like that, text messages, especially given that Venus was retrograding here as well. So it doubles down on hearing from those old former lovers and stuff, all of a sudden coming out of the woodwork in some way, or your children, difficult communications with and about and from your children with Mercury retrograding here as well. Now, don't forget Mercury cross on December 30th, January 28th, and then will be on February 11th, finishing up with Pluto. What kind of defining communications need to be completed that have great potency and power regarding your boyfriend, girlfriend, lovers, children, that kind of thing. If you're trying to have a baby and you're a Virgo rising type, or your partner is, this could bring some kind of breakthrough energy with the Mercury-Pluto combination finishing up in February. And don't forget, it's not until about February 24th that Mercury finally gets free of his retrograde shadow. So more momentum towards the end of the month as well. Money luck and money speculation with Venus here, now direct. This is gaming, casinos, and lottery tickets. The goddess of luck in the money luck house, Mars exalted. It's not a bad time to take a chance on an investment that's risky or take a gaming win for you, but wait till Mercury goes direct, obviously, and see what happens there. You can get a bit of a wealth bonus points here. It's a bit of a wealth yoga with Venus Pluto in your 5th house now. Lastly, but not leastly, I dropped all my cards on the floor. And the Kalasarpa yoga breakthrough with Ceres is coming into a breaking through in your 10th house of career. Some of you Virgos are going to find that that is a refresh of the screen up there, and that something that was feeling stuck or stagnant in your career and reputation breaks free. The 8 of Wands is a card of passion, momentum, Mercury and Sagittarius, fast moving news or communication, exciting, exhilarating, passionate, forward directionality that inspires you. This is what Mercury going direct will do. Makes sense because the 5th house is a house of inspiration and the muse, fun, play, pleasure, joy, and sexuality. Now I'm going to pick my cards up, so give me a minute while I pause the recording and pick them up off the floor. I'm still recording. Okay, thanks for waiting. I just had to pick up a bunch of cards off the floor. It is now time for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising sign people. So middle of January, Mercury stationed retrograde, and he did that in, didn't station retrograde in your actual 4th house, but that's where he ended up because he's popping forward in your 4th house of home and real estate and land and domestic and private life stuff. And as he does that, he's going to be coming forward by February 11th and touching Pluto. Don't forget December 30th and January 28th, he already contacted Pluto. What kind of death rebirth energy is trying to manifest through Mercury? Sales, mercantile, merchandising. Are you going to sell a property? Are you going to buy a property? Are you going to demolish a property? Are you going to construct a new property? Mars exalted there until the first week of March means you could do a lot of renovations at home right now. But Mercury going direct on the February 3rd or 4th is good news for you regarding things to do with the home, and maybe even leveraging financing or money from and with and about your homeland and real estate, or getting a new lease, or selling a property, or changing your home in some way. Some of you will be very antsy. Some of you Libras, you want to move, you want to get that going, you want to make changes in your home. Exalted Mars only comes through your 4th house every 2 years. So just figure out what does February 11th bring that started in motion back in December on the 30th with Mercury. Did you list your home? Are you selling a home? This can bring news about females in your ancestral line, like particularly mother or even grandmother, but mostly mother. Pluto, difficult news, hard news about that parent. But again, Pluto, Mercury started December 30th, January 28th, and December 11th. News about a mother figure could be playing out here as well. Kalasarpa yoga is broken free by Ceres, the goddess of, abundance and harvest and cornucopia, rescuing mother. She's crossing the field into your 9th house. Your 9th house is trips and travel to foreign lands. It's your hopes, it's your beliefs and faith, it's your spirituality, it's your dharma, it's a house of book publishing. Libras, a lot of you do write books, a Libra library book. Are you going to possibly have a breakthrough in some book project that you've been working on? For a lot of Libras, that could be true. Other ones, it has to do with trips to travel to foreign lands. It's definitely about breaking through, though, because the 10 of Wands is a card I drew. This is where you break through to a new level, a spiritual breakthrough as well. Don't forget the Kalasarpa yoga is happening in the house of God. Are you ready and ripe for spiritual breakthrough? Very possible. Aha. Epiphany, awareness, and boom, breakthrough. I know my table is moving. You probably can tell that the whole thing is wobbling. Scorpio, sun, moon, rising sign. So Scorpio, you know, Mercury has been retrograding. Now he's going direct. He's been retrograding since the middle of January. He's going direct in your third house of siblings and your aunts and uncles and cousins and your local neighborhood environment. These are the areas where some new momentum is building, online platforms and the online world, websites as well, and the house of writing, third house. So if you are Scorpio and you're involved in things to do with your neighborhood or siblings or writing or any kind of writing, songwriting, fiction writing, this is an important house. And you're getting momentum here as Mercury goes direct. But it also can be a change of neighborhood pending, like literally like change of home, change of neighborhood. Mars likes to move. He wants to move now because he's going through your house of neighborhood. You may feel a lot of energy building around wanting to move neighborhoods. He's there until March, the first week of March, end of first week of March. December 30th, January 28th, February 11th. These are three parts of one story. This is all about Mercury touching down with Pluto as he's direct, retrograde, direct in your third house. What things to do with your neighborhood, siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins, and short trips and travel have been, especially local and domestic, have been activated and are going to finalize with a final story on February 11th. Finally, this Kalasarpa Yoga, breaking free with Ceres, the goddess of abundance and shit like that, is happening in your eighth house of finances, like loans, bank loans, mortgages, government money, bank stipends, spousal money, inheritance money. There's good financial breakthrough stepping up for a lot of you Scorpios, and it's kicking into gear, especially for Scorpio rising, around February 11th as Ceres crosses the Kalasarpa Yoga. I just dropped the cards again. I'm going to draw a card for you from these cards. The King of Cups. So a lot of you guys are feeling, a lot of you Scorpios are feeling in a very kingly way. She calls it the throne of movement. Where are you moving to? Certainly some movement in that neighborhood. By the way, it could also be about buying a car or a vehicle or, you know, train, plane or automobile or a boat. I'm coming back. I'm going to go down to the very bottom and pick up the cards that I draw. Yeah, Mercury is mercantile and hang on, coming back to my mic. Hang on. Mercury is mercantile, merchandising, and all that stuff, and in the house of automobiles, trains, and planes. So you might buy a plane, a train, a car, or sell a vehicle or something like that as a result of this forward momentum. All right, keeping on the story here. Let's move on to I'm having tech issues. Give me a minute. There we go. Sagittarius, sun, moon, rising sign. You've got the energy of Mercury moving direct on February 3rd, 4th-ish, after being retrograde for 3 weeks. And he's bouncing forward from your second house of earnings, your voice, your vocation, your calling, your resources, your possessions, etc. Certainly, he likes to market, merchandise, and sell, and you may sell something for sure, a possession perhaps, and receive some financial gain from that. That's happening most likely, well, certainly anytime he moves direct, but that February 11th touchdown with Pluto could be a bit of a wealth boon from some sale, but it also could be some good news. Go back December 30th, January 28th, and February 11th. What research or uncovering are you doing around earnings, possessions, and money? Did you find in your basement an antique that's worth millions of dollars? That would be very Capricorn, second house, and Pluto, Mercury. You could find yourself also just wanting to voice something very powerful. Pluto, Mercury in the second house is a very strong, making a strong case, voicing something very strongly and definitively with authority, being commanding and in control of something you need to say to someone. You also have the Kalasarpa Yoga being broken through by Ceres in your seventh house of partnership, love, partnership, romance, you know, like the long-term committed stuff, and also the house that has to do with your business partners, if you have them. Breaking through legal contracts and negotiations can happen as well, Sagittarius, because this is a house where we sign documents and sign on the dotted line and make agreements, the seventh house, breaking through there. However, I want to say one thing, you know, this intense energy, this Mars is, you know, he's exalted in your second house and of speech next to Venus, his cosmic lover, and he rules the house of romantic love. You maybe need to have a very important breakthrough conversation with somebody significant with whom you have a love affair or love relationship. And I think that as Mercury goes direct on February 4th, 3rd, 4th, this will be a possibility for that. Yeah, that's what I'm going to stay. I drew the High Priestess card for you guys. Trust your intuition, follow your instincts. This is also about trying to create harmony and cooperation. Sometimes it's a two energy, partnering up with others, and possibly that is a narrative, but I think for a lot of you Sagittarius, it's about getting out of your fiery self and into your intuitive self and owning some of the intuition that the High Priestess can bring you. Lastly, it could be a lot of what I'm saying so far has to do with a very important woman in your life as well. Capricorn, sun, moon, rising sign, you're having the energy of the Mercury going direct on February 3rd, 4th, after being retrograde for 2 or 3 weeks, well, since mid-January, 3 weeks, in your first house of your identity. It's yours, right? You got a stellium there, you're overwhelmed. You got like so many planets there, you don't know what to do with them. You know, Mars and Venus and everybody is there. Pluto, Mercury. So having this energy in the house of you is intense. I've already said this in other videos. You guys are feeling it. You're feeling maybe sometimes overwhelmed. There's many competing voices. You're not sure how to handle them all. It's good that Mars entered into this part of your sky and will be here. He got here at the end of around January 24th and will be here till the first week of Mars. And he's really commanding and helping you make executive commanding decisions, helping cool some of the intensity by making you very decisive and directed and forward directed and clear and passionate about what you want. However, this movement of direct motion Mercury, you have to go back to December 30th and January 28th in order to get the big picture when he touched down with Pluto. Strong communications, being declarative and powerful in your voice. And on February 11th, you get a chance to do it again, Capricorn. Now, I'm not going to mince words here. Mars is going to cross the ascendant, no matter where your ascendant is, somewhere in Capricorn. Somewhat true for you, sun and moon, but not as much as rising. And he's going to oppose a descendant. And this could be you opposing a life partner or mate or a business partner and calling the shots or coming down hard with a strong boundary or command. You know what I mean? It was that thing, standing your ground, making your case with some person in your life. It may be difficult. And it could be that February 11th is an important date around that kind of conversation, etc. All right, so keep that in mind. The Kalasarpa Yoga is having a breakthrough energy, courtesy of Ceres in your 6th house of karmic debt and your house of work and workplace stuff. This is a breath of fresh air for a lot of you, some freeing up and freeing energy around work routines and health protocols. Oh, I should also say, you know, Pluto hides things and Mercury is digging around in the underworld. So you might come through with some health problems that you're clearing or discovering what they are. So go back to December 30th, January 28th, and February 11th, and try to connect those dots if you can, okay? They may be about breaking through health challenges through discovery and uncovering something. The card for you is the Ace of Wands. You're trying to get a new beginning going, a fresh start somewhere in your life. You know, the wands are fire. And when I look at your sky, I'm trying to figure out where that fire is being lit. Certainly in your 4th house of home and land and real estate, I think a lot of the wands can, especially the Ace of Wands, can represent the Aries impulse. So I have a feeling some of you are looking for a new home and getting ready to move. Thank you for this sky, Mercury going direct. Now it's time for my sign, Aquarius rising, sun and moon. I'm a rising. We are experiencing this in a very deep, profound interior place. The 12th house is the cave of our soul. It's the inward place where we have our dreams at night, our meditations, our inward solitude, contemplating our navel, belly button gazing, ashram type vibe. Also a place of solitary confinement and restriction, and sometimes self-undoing, quite often self-undoing, and hidden enemies. I'm telling you, having a stellium in our 12th house is like, where are our hidden enemies? Us Aquariuses are like, oh no, who's out to get us? So I want you to keep in mind that some of that is kind of like you could really have people who don't have your back right now. So be careful around who you trust right now. Now, the next thing I want to say is, I'm trying to sit again. The next thing I want to say is that Mercury going direct here in Capricorn is going to be a breakthrough energy. He's the god of dream messages in the ancient world, right? So he's in the house of connected to dreaming at night. And you could have a very profound dream. Now, February 3rd and 4th, no wonder I'm watching zombie movies, you know, with Mercury hanging out with Pluto and Capricorn in my 12th house. I'm watching stupid zombie show on Netflix. But around February the 11th, on February 11th, the last Pluto Mercury contact happens here, right? So December 30th, January 28th, February 11th. I'm going to try to connect my dots there. What was happening around December 30th? What was happening January 28th and February 11th that all have something in common? So one thing I'm doing is looking back at my dream journal. But you should pay attention as well to anything that has to do with foreign shores and lands. Business and barter from foreign shores and lands can be connected as well to the themes of the 12th house. One thing to say is that with Mars exalting this part of your sky right now, this is a really, really good time for you to allow yourself to use your power of will, your willpower drive to to stop doing addictive, self-defeating habits and patterns. Mars is giving you willpower. Now, Mars is often like thievery and stealing. He's exalted without Saturn to tame him there. So yeah, be careful that you don't leave your car doors open or your apartment doors open. This could invite some theft in the next few weeks for you guys until the 1st of March. Kalasarpa Yoga, first week of March, is being broken free by Ceres in the house of romance and children. Good news and relationship breakthroughs with you and your kids or for your kids, also for your fun, play, pleasure, joy, the muse, inspiration, enjoying life, joy, the factor called joy, and romance. Funny enough, I got a couple of guys sort of pinging me lately, interested in romance, but I have a hard time with that online stuff anyway. Just, too much work, to get to know somebody online that way. So anyway, not really feeling it, but nonetheless, I have to say, for some of us Aquarius, is the Kalasarpa Yoga early breakthrough into the 5th house can be a romance harbinger. It's good for your inspiration if you're writing a project, a muse-driven thing. I'm writing a novel, or any kind of artistic endeavors as well, breaking through and breaking free. The card I got for us is a 6 of Swords. Well, yeah, it's a moving card. Where are we moving? I don't know, but tell you guys, our 4th house has got that Uranus thing going. We're moving somewhere sometime soon. Mercury, therefore, in the 12th house, because he trines the 4th house, couldn't possibly, for some of us Aquarians, give us some news as he goes forward February 3rd, 4th, especially after the 24th, when he's free of his retrograde shadow, about a new place to move to, a locational move. 6 of Swords is also just a really good card for moving forward in any project or any idea you have in your life. A project you've created, an idea that you're working on. So finally, it is the Pisces of the world having this movement of Mercury into direct motion in the 11th house. Now, your 11th house is a good house. It's wishes and dreams and hopes and fairy godmothers and pennies from heaven and great gains from your career and luck and all of that. House of good spirit. It's a stellium up there. This should be for most Pisces rising, especially, but sun and moon, super swell time for you. With Mercury, however, retrograding, maybe less swell until now. So he started retrograding mid-January, retrograding, well, from your 12th house of hospitals and self-undoing and stuff like that. But now he's moving back, Pisces, and he's getting into your 11th house. And he has been there. Now he's going to go forward from there. So pay attention to what happened December 30th, January 28th, and then will be happening February 11th as he crosses through the Pluto part of your 11th house. Pluto's trying to transform your deepest aspirations, hopes, and wishes for your life. Now, you do have a bit of a wealth yoga. Venus is there with Pluto, and you can get a little bit of money back that someone owes you, or some kind of financial gain that you didn't expect is positive or good. Mercury could bring good news around money. It probably belongs to you, but it's coming back to you in some way, or feels like a windfall, but it may not be a full windfall like a lottery ticket, just that you've got money coming to you that you could use and it feels really good. That's February the 11th, when that news could come breaking through, or not, but it could be very, very positive. The Kalasarpa Yoga, and a friend could bring it, right? The 11th house is favors from friends as allies, friends who benefit you, like benefactors. The Kalasarpa Yoga is being activated as a breakthrough energy from the stuck, intense, difficult time we've been through, crossing over the North Node into your 4th house of home. Positive changes in and around and about your home life, your domestic life, My sister's a Pisces, and she broke a bone, and then they had to get her in hospital, then rehab. Pisces rising, and now she's home, but then they finally got the hospital bed and the wheelchair so she could get around in her house. But for someone like that, the example would be the Kalasarpa yoga breaking free around February 11th ish. Well, I'm tying that with the Pluto conjunction to, having a powerful new momentum of some kind regarding good things about your home, your apartment, your private domestic life, your inner life at home, as opposed to what the world sees. Things are looking up. And for some Pisces people, this can be a positive new direction around your home that could also involve a move, just because there's a lot of intense energy that's happening as that Mars will eventually move into the 12th house and trine the 4th house in March. And so therefore the first week of March adds 6 weeks for some Pisces, maybe a relocation signature for sure. The card for you, I hope, did I draw a card for us Aquarians? Yeah, I did, the move card. The card for you Pisces folks, the Queen of Pentacles, a money card. This is a positive money development. Yay, you. Well, Venus is a goddess of money in your 11th house of pennies from heaven. She rules the house of siblings. How about for some of you Pisces, a sibling gives you a chunk of money. This is a Queen of Pentacles, good for your body, your healing, and your money stories for a lot of you Pisces. All right, I'm out of here. It's getting dark. I need to take a walk and exercise. A long day on a Sunday, recording on January 30th. It should go out sometime this week. It goes always to my Patreons first. You don't know about my Patreon community? Check the link below, sign up, come be a part of my small but very fun and intimate gathering of astrology learners and astrology fiends. Ciao, ciao.